Okay, so hello everybody that's joined us for the webinar today. So this is going to be all about Audacity, and it's funny enough, we were just chatting about sort of my career path, and actually this pulls into a completely different side of my career as a singing teacher and a professional singer, because this is a piece of software that I've used throughout my entire sort of career. You know, I've been working as a singing teacher, and well, I was working before the pandemic as a singing teacher and a professional singer alongside sort of my various full-time jobs. And this is a piece of software that I've used many times. And in my current job, I use this software for all of our voiceovers. So I do all the voiceovers for a lot of our tutorials that we do. We currently working with the Blended Learning Consortium. And any sort of things that we produce for them, I do voiceovers for, and I use Audacity for it. Disclaimer: I thought this webinar would be good for people that really don't have much or any experience of working with audio software. The reason is because I'm not an audio engineer. And I've learned all of this basically myself. I don't have any special equipment. I just have a microphone. I do have a microphone that I do for voiceover because it's quite a good quality microphone, but all it does is it plugs into my computer by USB. So there's nothing on here that is going to be specifically you know, super specialist, and hopefully everything will be hopefully everything that I teach you today you can replicate for yourself on your devices, and you know, using the sort of this various knowledge that I've collated over the past few years. So Audacity is free. It's a free audio tool that you can download from the internet. It's available for Windows, but I think it's available for Mac and various other platforms as well. You don't need any software installed on it. You don't need to pay for anything. You just literally download it and it is ready to go. Okay, and I just wanted to sort of test this because I've used Audacity for years and years, and I recently needed a new device. I downloaded it. Within a few minutes, you know, I was able to access my microphone on either through a headset or through my computer, and I could just plug in my USB microphone, and it picked it up straight away. There's no messing about with it. It's literally just plug and play. You say you don't need any special equipment. Like I say, I've got a microphone, but today I'm just going to demonstrate this on my microphone on my device to show you how easy it is. And there's some really simple features that you can use in it that just allow you to make some quite good quality recordings, I feel. And it is really quite straightforward. Here's just a few examples that I've done. Unfortunately, you are going to hear me singing because obviously I've only got myself as an example of things, but these are all things that I've created on Audacity. So this was just I'll play through them. Some of them are singing, some of them are kind of voiceovers. I just realised I've done a rookie mistake here. I'll just turn on my sound. There we go. Let's try this again. Run in. Okay, so I'll just play you a couple of these examples. Try and keep an eye on the chat as well, just in case anyone's got any questions. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I don't know how good quality it'll come out on Teams. I did try this before and it seemed to work okay.
To hear my voice, the louder I will sing. White balance is simply telling your camera what is white. This is so that objects that appear white to the human eye are captured that way in camera. White balance takes into consideration the colour. temperature of a light
Sorry, I just need to admit people as they're coming in, sorry.
source, which refers to the warmth or coolness of the
We
white
just listened
light.
to some examples, Corinne.
For example, indoor or everyday light bulbs, also known as tungsten lights, are extremely warm, causing explore the hows and whys of the Student Voice Initiative, along with the structures that are in place. We will also cover the individual responsibilities as a learner representative. Let's begin.
Something's going on. There we go, stop that. Okay, so yeah, sorry, yeah, had to sort of hear me singing and what have you, but that, as I say, I'm the only person that's got any examples of Audacity. So yeah, there's just a few recordings I made. Some of them are like overlaying of voices, some of them are mixing up tracks with all the voices, and some of them are just plain voiceovers that sort of we've created. I've created for various projects over the years. Okay, so
hello, and welcome to the online training for the HE learner representatives.
Go away.
In this training, we will explore the...
There we go. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, it's a great tool for music learners to download and create simple instrumental recordings. If you've got any students that just need to just have a play around with, you know, creating just a basic recording, you know, for singers, this is great, okay, because you can just create, if you've got like a backing track, you can just import your backing track to it and then just sing over it. It doesn't, you have to sort of mess about a little bit with sort of if you want to hear the sound through your headphones that comes through. Generally speaking, I tend to just kind of have them on like this, and then usually what happens is that I can hear the backing track and then just hear my singing, and I'll just turn the sound that's coming through off, because otherwise it's a bit, it sort of tends to have a little bit of latency. But yeah, you can use it for voiceover, for media and film subjects, training tutorials. If anybody does need training tutorials, obviously, if you've got any lessons, you know, I know everybody's, you know, thinking about going back now, but if you do have any lessons online or things that you want to create for, say, asynchronous lessons, you can create some tutorials. Also brilliant for things like poetry plays. One of the things that our English teachers did, I think it was the other year, created some written spoken text. So the sort of text that they were creating, they create some audio files using those texts, and this could be a great option for that as well. So positives of Audacity over other software. I know that there is lots of other software out there. I know that there's lots of more professional software, much more sort of geared towards sort of creating really professional sort of studio audio tracks. However, Audacity is free. It downloads very quickly, very easily. You go to the website. I will just show you this now. If I can just pop back onto here. Got the website open. Oh, there we go. Got it already open. Where is it gone? Oh, hang on. There we go. Just need to move it across. There we go. Yeah, so all you need to do is just go to this. If you just Google Audacity or go to audacityteam.org, you can just download it straight from the website. And so there's various different versions. You can download it for Windows, you can download it for say for Mac, and you know, other platforms as well. And there's just lots of, you know, it just tells you a little bit about how to use it as well. So yeah, just really quick and easy to download. I'll just go back to current slide. There we go. Yeah, so it picks up the audio source straight away. So if I plug in a USB microphone, or if I plug in, you know, or I just want to capture my headset, or you know, any other kind of sort of microphone audio source, it picks it up straight away. You don't have to mess about with anything. It's got very simple features. You know, you're not looking at an interface that's got like sort of 1,000,001 different things and sort of trying to work out. You don't need a full training course to actually get used to it. There actually, you know, there are just a few simple things you can sort of do to get you started, and you don't need any specialist knowledge to do it. You know, I did an A-level in music, you know, a long time ago now, but most of this stuff I've just picked up by myself over the past few years. And as I say, you know, I don't use Logic or any of those any other software. I wish I knew how to do it, but you know, this is really just designed for those that are you know, just want a simple piece of software to use. Okay, Andrew, hello.
Hi, yeah, I was just wondering how easy is it to embed the Audacity files into other, you know, how easy is it to overlay them onto presentations and things like that? Are you going to be going into that a little bit later?
I wasn't going to do that, but I can show you. That's fine. I'll do that at the end.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, really. So they're just basic MP3 files. You can just export them whichever. Well, I'll go through that. That's fine. Okay, so I just wanted, so just a few little bits of demo. I'll just sort of go through this. Okay, so when you start up Audacity, I'll just start up a new one so you can see. There we go. Okay, so this is what you get when you start up Audacity. I'll just put there we go. Let's move that across so I've got reminders of what I need to show you. Okay, so yeah, so once you've installed it, you know, this is what you'll get. Okay, so when you start Audacity, it will show you a microphone and it will show you a speaker. So these are your audio sources. Okay, and basically what all that means is just where you're getting your audio from. In this situation, I've set it up so that it's going to pick up the audio from my computer, so my internal microphone on my computer. But if I wanted to, I can set that up so that it's receiving my headset, which I'm not going to use because I'm using this on Teams. So yeah, I can just set that up if I wanted to. And if I had plugged in a microphone, if I've got like a microphone with a USB on it and I've plugged that in, that would show up on there as well. Okay, so I wouldn't need to do anything else with that. I'd just pick that up. You know, in my experience, I've had a new device that I had to install this on recently. I installed it and literally installed it, plugged my microphone in like 5 to 10 minutes. It was all set up, ready to go. I didn't need to do anything to it. And obviously you've got your speakers here, so you can decide where your speakers are coming out of. And this is going to just come out of my headset as I've currently got now. Okay, so once you're in and you've said, right, this is where my audio is coming from and this is where my audio is going out to, basically you also need to set up your levels. Okay, so you can see at the top here, you've got a little microphone here and you've got a little speaker here. Okay, so you just need to set where you want those to go. Now, I recommend that you set your recording at about halfway. So because if you set it up as top whack, your chances are you're going to get what we call like peaking, which basically means you're going to get these distortions. Okay, I'll just show you what I mean. Here we go. I can show you what I mean. I click on that there and I record. This is me recording. And it's recording very loudly, although it's not really showing you very well at the moment. But if I did have other recordings, it tends to sort of peak sometimes. Okay, so this is just picking it up from my speaker. Okay, this is me recording, and it's recording very loudly. Okay, but yeah, that's picking up that from there. But if you just sort of turn down the volume, if I just remove that. Literally, if you wanted to remove something, you can just highlight it and just press delete and it'll just disappear. Okay, if I move that down a little bit, it'll be a better level for me to start recording. And then if you need to, you can amplify it up if you wanted to, or amplify it down. Okay, so yeah, just have a little play with that, but just be aware if you put that up, whack it up too high, sometimes you get sort of a bit of distortion on it. Okay. So importing audio. Okay, if you want to import a track, say if you want to import a track to sing over, or you want to import some music, so you might have like a voiceover and you might want to put some little bit of music onto it. You literally just go to File and then you go to Import. Okay, and File and Import, click on Audio, and this will bring up my files, which I've just got on the screen. But I've just got a little free audio track that I've downloaded off YouTube. from their free audio library, and I'm going to get it from my downloads. There we go. I'll just click on this one here. This is what I'm after. Okay, so I've just literally selected my file that I want. There we go, and that's just down at the bottom here. Okay, so I can just play that. Hopefully you can all hear this. Okay, so that's just basically an audio track that I've got that I'm just sort of adding to my voiceover, or my, you know, if I wanted to sing over it or add an instrument or something like that. If you are a musical person and you're wanting to use this for recording, you can create what we call a click track, which if you go to generate, okay, so they're quite sort of easy, the menus are sort of quite self-explanatory. So if you go to generate and then you click on rhythm track, you can basically set yourself a little track that you can sort of do that will sort of count you in. So yeah, and you can set the beats and the tempo and things as well. If I just click OK, there we go. I'll apply the rhythm track. Okay, and if I just, I don't know where that's gone. I think that's just added it to the beginning of that, is it? Or is it replaced? Yeah, it just added to the beginning. There we go. Yeah, so if I just click on that, again, it's just like a little click track that you can use to record if you need to. Okay, if you want to undo anything, you can just click edit and undo. Okay, so yeah, recording and playing back. I've just done a little bit about this before. If you if you're wanting to record something, if you're recording something from scratch, okay, when you record, it basically sets up a new track for you. So this is a stereo track, okay. You know, if you're recording voice and things, it records in sort of stereo, and basically that will automatically create a little track for you. And you can just, as you can see there, if I just get rid of that there, if I start recording, it'll generate a track for me and it will start recording. As you can see, it's going to start recording and then generate a track. Yeah, there we go. Keep going. Okay, if I wanted to put a track underneath that, if I wanted to start recording, you would need to add another track to the list. And what you do is you go to tracks at the top and you click on add new and you click on stereo track. And then once you've done that, I can record over that. As you can see, it's going to start recording and then generate track. Yeah, there we go. Keep going. And then I can add some more recording to my track, or I can overlay it if I needed to. There we go. And then I've got two different like tracks that I can use together. As you can see, just press play, it plays back. There's lots of keyboard shortcuts on this. You can use the space bar to press play. As you can see, it's going to start recording. You can press the R button, it'll start recording as well. And again, as you can see, that's kind of recorded from the end of that track. So if I just stop that using the space bar. So if you wanted to add another track in, you'd have to create a new track. And if you want to put one underneath, you'd have to do that. Again, if you wanted to just delete anything, you can highlight it and you can delete. Okay, you can also use this little cutting tool here. So I can highlight it and just go cut. There we go. I can cut that if I wanted to. Okay, so if I wanted to edit my tracks, there's a few simple tools that I can use. Okay, so I'll just do a little, I've got this lovely Census leaflet here that I'm just going to read out. Okay, so let's just try this again. Okay, so I'm going to just press record. The census is a survey that happens every 10 years and gives us a picture of all the people and households in England and Wales. Organisations such as local authorities and charities use census information to understand the services we need, including transport, education and healthcare. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so that's actually used my microphone, which is on my headset. Okay, so you can... The census is a survey that happens every 10 years, so that's just picking up my microphone. If I wanted to change that to my my computer microphone, I can do that by just clicking the microphone array on there. Okay, there we go. Stop. There we go. Okay, so a few little editing tools. Okay, if I wanted to move this around, okay, if I wanted to move this from left to right, you can use a thing called the time shift tool. Okay, so this is a tool here, and if you click on it, you can move this around. Okay, if I needed to. I don't know if it'll let me move things around. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete some of this stuff. I'm going to move back to my cursor. We delete the beginning of that. There we go. Move to the time shift. Hopefully that will let me move that. Don't think it'll let me move it that way. Okay. So what? Let me just split. See if it'll let me split that. There we go. Let me just move this around. Okay. Let me just cut that, and then see if it will let me move that across. No, I think I need to actually have it moving. But yeah, you can move this if you need to have it sort of closer. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's done it now. There you can see. Okay, so you can sort of move things around if you need to, and sort of especially if you need to line things up with other tracks. You can do that. Obviously, the cut tool I've just kind of mentioned, it's up there if you needed to cut anything out. Zoom tool is very good as well, so you can zoom in on sort of different different parts of your track. You've just got the little your plus and minus sat up there. If you click on that, that will zoom in, and you can zoom in and out, and that's really good for like deleting little tiny bits on your track as well. That's really good because you can zoom in, you can just delete the specific bit that you need. The silence option is really good. So if you've got sort of background noise sort of on your track, or you wanted to sort of generate some silence, you can do this by, if I just use this cursor, so your cursor obviously selects the tracks and things at the top here where you've got it on here. Okay, selection tool there. So if I just highlight that, and then if I go to generate, and if I click on silence, and it'll tell me how much silence I want, what will happen is that will actually just generate some silence for me. So if I now play that, okay, it's just immediately gone silent. Okay, so that's really useful, sort of at the beginning and the end of sections, or sort of in the middle of different little bits of sections if you don't want any sort of background noise and things on. The mute tracks are important as well. If you've got lots of different tracks on there, you can mute certain tracks on here if you need to. So you can actually just mute things and sort of listen to things in isolation. Okay, another tool that's ever so useful, especially if you are sort of, if you've got some background noise. Julie, you've got a question?
Yeah, I just want to know, can you mute a certain section of it? Like, we do lots of recordings with customers, and if I wanted to delete or mute their personal data, like if they mention the customer's name or reference number.
Yeah, I would use the silencing tool for that. So what I would do is I'd just select the bit, and then I would just go to generate silence, and then that would just silence that bit. Yeah, okay. That's what I would do.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing you could do potentially is, if you create another track, you could create another track, stereo track. There we go. And you could potentially just sort of, copy that little section there. And if I go into there, I can just copy paste that in there. I've just used Control-C, Control-V. So, for example, if you did need that information on the track, you could, copy that, paste it into another track, and then just mute that track. So you've still got the information, but obviously you can just, for the purposes of your recording, it's not there. Okay, hopefully that's answered that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, noise removal is a really good little tool. This is something I was speaking to somebody about this because I was back when I was working in another college, just helping somebody with music, and I was like, does this other software have noise removal? And they're like, oh no, that's the sort of thing you wouldn't use on professional things. But I'm like, I think noise removal is really good. It's really sort of straightforward to use, and basically what it means, it just gets rid of the background noise if you've got something if you've got something happening behind you. It just kind of mutes things. So what you need to do is you need to get a section of the noise, okay, ideally sort of the beginning or the end where you're not talking, and then what you need to do is go to effect, and then if you click on, there's lots of options here, but there's an effect called noise reduction, And basically, if you get noise profile, so that's basically the section of the noise that you want to show that you need to get rid of. Okay, and what it'll do is that'll kind of take a little sample of the noise that it wants you to get rid. You want it to get rid of, and then you can just highlight your track, and then go to it again. Click on noise reduction, and then click OK. And as you can see, that's got rid of some of that background noise that's in the background, and that's a really useful thing to do. If you're wanting to sort of mess about with things like dynamics and you want things to be a bit more even, you can use a thing called the compressor. And basically, the layman's terms, compressors basically kind of adjust the dynamics. So if you've got sort of peaks on your track, or you've got bits that are kind of coming down a bit, it kind of just squashes it a little bit. So basically, it just makes it a lot more even. And basically you don't have sort of sudden lows, sudden louds, bits that are loud, some bits are quiet. It's all kind of pushes it into the same sort of dynamic range. And again, that all you would do with that is just highlight your track. And if you go to this is what I do. If you go to Effect and click on Compressor, I don't tend to mess about with these settings, but you obviously, if you wanted to do some more research, there's loads of research on this as the Audacity wiki page. And also the great thing about this is some of these settings that there are factory sort of settings that you can set up. So if you click on Manage, this gives you some kind of factory presets that you can sort of set up. So you don't need to worry about setting levels and things like that. You can just put that in there. So if I just click on Default and click OK, as you can see, that's kind of highlighted things. It's highlighted a little bit too much, actually. I think I don't really like the fact that, but it does kind of give you an overall picture of the dynamics, and it kind of evens everything out. If you wanted to, so that to me is a bit too loud now, but if you wanted to, you can adjust the overall setting of the volume. You can sort of make it louder and softer by using the Amplify effect. So if I go to Effect and click on Amplify, I can actually bring this down a little bit. So if I go to can click on the minus section. If I go to like -5, as you see, that's kind of brought it all down. Similarly, if I need it to go louder, I can amplify that up, and that will give me sort of a louder track. It won't let you do it beyond beyond what it would allow you to go up to, because then you obviously get distortion and things. So there you go, you can see I've made it bigger. Okay, you can also use these little dials at the front here. These are basically, this is the gain. Okay, so again, that will sort of bring it up, bring it down if you wanted to as well. If you're you'll say you're doing things like singing or tracks, there's also options for things like reverb. Some people, singers love reverb. If you go to your effect, you click on reverb, and again, you've got these factory settings which you can use, which I just use, factory presets, vocal 1, vocal 2. So you don't need to mess about with these. If you wanted to, you could, if you're curious, but I just use factory settings and just click on usually vocal 1, or some of these other ones are quite funky, the cathedral and things like that. Basically that just gives it a little bit of reverb. Of all the people and households in England and Wales. You can see how that works. And there is also an option for fade in and out, and you can just get that from the effects as well. So if I just sort of did this one here, there we go. If I click on effect, click on fade out, there we go, it just fades it out for me. Similarly, I can do it the same for fade in. There you go, it just fades itself in. Okay, so final product, exporting the finished audio recording. All you do is make sure that you've got everything unmuted, that you need to send out. And basically, if you do have a track muted, it will not export that track. Okay, so if you've got say you've got this track here and you've got a track underneath, but you only want the first track, if you mute that won't be heard. Okay, but if you go to File and go to Export, you've got a few different options for different file types. I tend to just export as MP3 because that tends to you can use that on most things really. And what you get is your your file section here, and you just put your file name in here. So I don't know, example for webinar. There we go, click on save. Yeah, that's fine. It's just telling me it's going to be exported and mixed down. it gives me some sort of metadata that comes up, which here we go, where is it? Yeah, you can sort of add these little tags in here, you know, if you wanted to. Okay, click OK. Okay, and basically that's just going to export, and that's that'll go into. I've got that just goes into my music folder. Okay, and it just appears, and I'll just show you what that looks like. We'll go to my music folder. To my music folder. It's sort of around here somewhere. There you go. It's just here, and as you can see, it's got like sort of the data that I've just added in there. I can just open that up and just play that, and it's just going to open up on whatever software you've got on your device. The census is a survey that happens every 10 years and gives us a picture of all the people and households in England. There we go. Okay, so I know that somebody's asking how do you get this onto things like PowerPoint. So let's just add this to the PowerPoint that I have done here. There we go. So all I do is say, because it's just an MP3 file, I can just go to Insert, click on Audio, click on Audio. I'll go to Audio on my PC, and then that'll find my audio files, and there we go. Oh, webinar. There we go. There we go. And then the census is a survey that happens every 10 years and gives. You can move that around on the PowerPoint presentation. Is there any other places that you were sort of asking whether it could be embedded? Is there any other places that you sort of was curious about it being embedded?
No, so normally PowerPoint is something I use most of all, but I mean, I assume you can just drop it straight into a Teams chat as well, could you?
Yeah, it's just an audio recording. It's just a file.
Just an MP3 file. Yeah. Hi, Julie.
Oh, I was just going to ask about the file size, because we do a lot of, our students actually do lots of recordings for their showcase portfolio for their apprentices. So, and we find that the file size is really big then of the PowerPoint when they use the inbuilt recording. So do you think the file size would be less if they use this, or no different?
Well, I can tell you. Let me just have a look. So just have a look at the
You have to do voiceovers for each slide, you say.
Yeah.
By the time they're finished, it's that big, we can't upload it to the awarding bodies portal. So
yeah, I mean, it depends. Are you exporting the PowerPoint as a video?
No.
Okay, because if the PowerPoint's exported as video, obviously it will be a massive file anyway, because it's obviously a video. But if are you just taking the PowerPoints and just adding the recordings to the PowerPoints?
Yes.
Okay, so this one.
They embed as well as objects lots of other evidence work as well. So that might make it, it's not just a voice recording.
Right.
They embed lots of objects. You know, you can embed an object and they put in like a Word document or a PDF document. It's like all their evidence has to be put into one final presentation.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. I'm just saving this so I can see, because this has just been loaded up from my OneDrive. Just want to have a look to see. There we go. Let me just have a look on here to see what size this is currently. Okay, so this is, can somebody do some math? 63,000 kilobytes, which is, is that about 63 meg?
Just under, yeah, be about
63 meg. Yeah, so that's about 63 megabytes. So that's basically, yeah. So each of the recordings is about the same as you'd. Let me just have a look. So just have a look at the. Come on. All right. So where's the example? Yeah, so each the recordings themselves aren't that big. I mean, they're about the same as a normal kind of a song. They're usually about a couple of megabytes. I've just have a look at one of the other ones that I've done, which is more of a recording. Let's just that, because that's only a very short one. Let's just have a look at this one that was Something Inside So Strong. Let's just look at the properties for that one. Right, yeah, so that one's like, so this one, this Something Inside So Strong is like 60 megabytes. So yeah, it's quite a big sort of track, really. Let me just have a look at another one, maybe like a voiceover type thing. Yeah, voiceover is like 1 megabyte. So I suppose it depends what you're adding to it. So I think if you've got sort of music tracks added to it, it sort of makes a difference. Look at some of these other voiceover type ones. 5 megabyte. Yeah, so there's a few megabyte for sort of the voice type ones. I think let me just have a look at this other one where I've got multiple voices. This is actually one that's got kind of multiple voices over at 3 megabytes. So it really depends, really. It's not really doesn't really sort of seem to be a consistent it depends what kind of tracks they are, really. So
okay, thank you.
Corinne.
Oh yes, I was just fighting with my cat. Two-pronged question, really. Can you add audio to forms, and if so, could you use this to add on or not?
That's an interesting question.
I was just thinking if I wanted to give direction or something, maybe do it a little bit differently, if I could do it this way on a form.
I am not sure. Let me just have a look. Let's just have a look. Okay, stop recording. There we go. I know you can add obviously because